All right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Mission Impact with Tracy, Ty, and Daphne. So today we're talking about effective leadership, right? Because that is something that every business owner, every nonprofit owner, every social enterprise owner needs, or nonprofit, not we don't own nonprofits,
Don't
but you know
don't
what I
say
mean,
that.
nonprofit founder. Correction, right? Every nonprofit founder needs to understand in order to be successful in their business ventures because they're all businesses. Whether you're a nonprofit or not, you're all a business. So, introductions. My name is Tracy B. Allen. I'm the owner of TVA Consulting Group. I've been in this business area for over 20 years. I help social enterprises and social entrepreneurs to design, build, and fund their social ventures while maximizing their social impact.
I am Daphne Pettis from On Good Ground Strategic Solutions. I I guess I'm a nonprofit strategist, this week, but nonprofit strategist and philanthropic advisor, helping nonprofit founders and leaders to effectively position themselves in their nonprofit so that they are successful and sustainable.
Yeah, I'm Ty Boone. I'm owner of Ty Boone Consulting, Ty Boone Enterprises. I am a nonprofit success strategist. I help nonprofits move from startup and struggle to sustainability and success. I ain't even gonna say the other part that I used to say because you know what? It's all a headache out here. But I think between the three of us, there's probably about 60 years of experience with this, working in this nonprofit and social enterprise, social impact, mission impact streets, right? And one of the things I think that that everybody has in common is that there's some leader somewhere who is misleaded, uh, and needs to just kind of to pull it together. And sometimes there's just so much out there, so much information out there, so much misinformation out there when you're getting started in business, whether it's nonprofit, for profit, or whatever. Sometimes getting a hold to the wrong information could really have your leadership going left, going in the wrong direction because you're following some rules or you're following some standards that are not where they should be. And so a lot of us, we get into these fields and we jump in and we start doing work and we know you think you're a leader, you're supposed to do this, and you just get so busy in the work of it that you forget about everything that comes into being a leadership in a leadership position. What does that look like? How do you lead? And what does that mean? What kind of example are you setting for your organization, for your business? I remember working in a traditional nonprofit where we had what's called executive staff, right? So everybody who was the head of a department was the executive staff. So we were leaders in this particular organization. And the way that we communicated meant a whole lot, number one, right? We had to communicate in ways that were effective, in ways that we were going to show our organization to be impressive to the community, ways that would attract funders. And it all started with the person who was sitting in the leadership chair. Because if we showed up raggedy and we showed up disorganized and we showed up like we didn't know what we were doing, then the whole organization just fell apart. So I think that for most of us, having someone in position who actually knows how to do this and how to do this effectively and what that looks like and who's responsible for what, and even knowing how to delegate, things like that are really, really hard for nonprofit leaders and for us, right? And for-profit businesses. Right now, I'm sitting down right before this call and I'm like, oh, I got so much stuff to do. And it's all my fault. Like, it's like I have so much stuff to do. It's all my fault because just being transparent, some things in leadership, I'm like, okay, I feel like if I don't do it, it's not going to get done right. So I need to do this. And then here we go. Deadlines tomorrow. I have, 7 things that I have not done. And I could have just passed it over to somebody else. I have a team. Hey, you do this. But I felt, okay, this is dear to me. So I'm not going to give it over. And now I'm stressed out. Like, okay, I'm late for meetings. Don't know what time it is. All of that because I got all this stuff, going on. And I think that's kind of one of the problems that we run into with nonprofits a lot, especially when we're starting out as lone leaders. Just kind of taking over and doing too much. in leadership positions.
Right. As you know, Todd was saying, we see in the nonprofit arena, you know, as we call it, the lone founder, the lone leader. And what happens is we go into they go into these positions thinking that they have to do everything by themselves. So what happens? They start to do things, and then things start to build and to build and to build. And as they continue to lead in that arena, things start to fall short, right? So what happens? You get to the point to where you can't do everything, but you try to do everything. So you get burnout, right? And so a lot of the leaders, they stop, they get stagnant, or they get to the point to where you're doing so many things that something's lacking, or that, you know, everything is lacking. So one of the things in leadership that you have to understand is that you can't do everything, and that building a successful team is necessary. So from your board of directors to your staff, you know, as a leader, that is your responsibility.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And coming from a social enterprise or social entrepreneurship aspect, I think too, when Ty said talking about delegating, a lot of times we think that we're the only people that can do it, right? Or do it right. But you have to trust in the people. You're not the only person in the world who can do one thing, right? There are the people who can do it. And you just have to trust, really take some time and hire the right staff, and trust that the staff members are going to deliver on what they say they could deliver on. Maybe you check over the first 1 or 2 or 3 things that they put out just to make sure it's meeting your company standards, and that if you have any corrections, you clearly communicate those things to them. And then after that, let them do what they're supposed to do so you can move on and do something else. But a lot of times I think that we want to control things so much, we just don't know how to let go. And if you are not able to delegate and you're not able to trust other people to do the job, then you're always going to be in a cycle of constantly being tired, overworked, and it will stagnate your revenue eventually. There's just no way around it. Your revenue is going to become stagnant because you just don't have any time to build the business. That is your job. Everybody else's job is to help you do the work in the business. So learn how to delegate, hire the right people, and let it work for you. Another thing that I hear when it comes to effective leadership too is the finances behind the leadership, especially for social entrepreneurs and social enterprises. They're always coming looking for a grant. An effective leader knows how to earn income. That's what I'm trying to say. An effective leader knows how to earn income. You should be participating in earned income activities. Again, that's why you have a staff to help you to do the work for the jobs that are coming in or the products that you're selling. But to constantly be trying to run your business as a leader, business leader, right? Because once you start your business, you are a business leader, right? And if you're going to, like I said, from a social enterprise or social entrepreneurship aspect, if you're going to make enough money to support your own lifestyle and then support the community, whatever project you decide to do in the community, you have to be an effective leader wherein you can go ahead and you can make enough money for yourself and have a surplus where you can actually support the community. If you're unable to do that, then you're not an effective leader. If you're always just looking for quote unquote free money somewhere, that's not effective leadership at all. So that's kind of the aspect that I wanted to come from it at. When I think about effective leaders, I think about people who can delegate correctly. All right, we got to let go, right? Let it go. Think about your child turning 18 and you're like, that's my baby. And they're like, well, mom, I'm 18. And then they turn 21 and you're like, oh, that's my baby. And you want to just protect them from the world, but you have to let them go to make mistakes and then you can just build them back up, right? It's the same thing with your business. And I know a lot of people will say, well, I'm not making enough money to hire staff. Hiring staff is actually more economical than you think, right? There's always somebody out there looking for a job. You just have to make them the right offer and tell them, hey, be patient with me for now. And as the business grows, your revenue grows. have the conversation, build that community, build those relationships, but you have got to let go of some of the things that you do in order to grow. Your growth cannot be just you alone doing all the work. And money, for me, money is cylindrical, right? It goes all the way around. So.
And, as she was saying, building revenue, I think that nonprofits sometimes don't understand that part of the nonprofit is building revenue. And as an executive director, as a lot of founders put themselves into that position, as an executive director, one of your roles and responsibilities is building the revenue for the nonprofit organization. And that means removing yourself from those day-to-day operational things to get yourself out into the community and speak to those funders, those community leaders, those people who can put you in position to receive those dollars and that revenue that's needed for your nonprofit organization. So if you are one of those nonprofit founders / executive directors who find yourself doing everything and you can't let go, as a social SOUL CHIL strategist, one of the things that I suggest is that you look into what that real issue is about letting go. Is there something within you that you can't trust other people to do those activities, those roles, and those responsibilities that's necessary for your nonprofit organization to grow? And you as a leader may be hindering the process that allows your organization to move to the next level that is necessary to do what it is that you need to do.
Yes, absolutely. And that's kind of like our 2 cents on when it comes to being an effective leader. Delegate or let go, hire the right people, and build your revenue. You have to engage in income earning activities where people pay you for products and services that you are going to be rendering. And we're going to get into a little bit more in another episode, hiring and retaining those employees, contractors or subcontractors that you actually bring on board and how to go about it. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next episode of Mission Impact. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Bye-bye.